Hi, and welcome to another episode of I Don't Have the Answers, but we're going to talk about it anyway. I'm your host, Tim Four, and this is my friend Mike Rodriguez. You've heard him on other shows, we talked about other movies, and it's actually exactly what we're going to do today. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Thanks, Tim.
Alright, today's show is all about the summer blockbusters. Can we call them blockbusters?
I mean, some of them are bound to be blockbusters. I don't expect them all to be, but that's what we're going to talk about.
But we have a list of some of the movies we're going to talk about, some of the minor plot lines, who's in them.
We'll try not to mess up anybody's names or mispronounce that plots. Just bear with us.
We've been saying yah over and over again. You'll hear about why in just a little bit. But anyway, so we're going to jump right into some of the movies and when they're expected to come out. The first one on our list is Black Widow, coming out May 1st.
May 1st. So May generally is, actually the end of April, beginning of May is generally when summer movies begin to come out, Tim. Summer movies, you expect them to start like probably June, July, August. However, the movie studios just started putting tentpole blockbuster movies like earlier and earlier. I think the Fast and Furious movies were actually some of the first ones that were trying to hit like really early. I think they come out as early as mid-April sometimes, so that would generally start off your blockbusters for the summer.
So just trying to get ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, and everybody's just rushing to try and get like those specific dates so they can put their movie there, and then they don't want to put another one at the same time for lack of box office exposure and stuff like that. But the first one we got that we came across was Black Widow. Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
It's an MCU movie. Technically, they haven't really done anything wrong. My big questions with this one is how is it going to set up the rest of the MCU moving forward after Endgame?
Yeah.
Especially since this movie takes place in between Infinity War and Endgame. So where do we go from here? I know it's telling a story of, Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson coming back. Is it going to touch on anybody else? Are we going to see anybody that from the normal cast of characters that we're used to? Is Tony Stark going to be in there? Hawkeye? Anybody? I've heard rumors for this, that, or whatever. But how does this set up things moving forward? Are we going to have another Black Widow of sorts? I've heard rumors about Taskmaster being something that I don't want to get into for lack of spoilers. So, where do we go from here?
There's a lot of room. I mean, in the placing it where they did, you've got a lot of things to work with. I mean, if you don't like the character, write them off in Endgame. I mean, sorry, they're gone. But I like the placement of it. I think that it's a smart idea to put it where they did in the timeline.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm looking forward to, like, one thing that Marvel does is bring in a lot of actors and actresses that are well known. Some of the older type, like how they've had like Robert Redford and stuff come in. Like here you have Rachel Weisz doing a role, like having a role. David Harbour from Stranger Things is in here, and then up and comer as well, I think Florence Pugh, who was in that Meet the Family movie that with The Rock about the wrestler.
Right.
She's awesome. I really think that her playing, I think Yelena Belova, who's another Black Widow of sorts through comic book lore, is going to be really cool. And I'm wondering if they're going to somehow pass the torch on through her for the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But there's so many characters to explore here, so they can go anywhere. And now with Disney Plus, and now you got stuff going on the TV as well, so you can go all over the place with this stuff. But this movie looks pretty awesome.
I think it's going to set things up for whatever the next step's going to be for them. So
yeah,
I like it. Next we have May 15th. Got 3 different movies that's on our list. This one is freaky. I saw the trailer on it, and I gotta say, it's kind of creeped me out. The Woman in the Window.
Yeah, this one looks pretty good. Out of the 3 that we're going to talk about, we'll probably briefly touch on the other 2, but this is the one that I want to talk about and the one I'm most excited about. Amy Adams plays an agoraphobic woman, so someone that not about going outside, not about being around people, big on the germ stuff, all that
exactly.
stuff. So she's stuck at home all the time, and she lets someone in, from what I gather through the trailer, because I'm only going based on what we've seen, in the trailer. She becomes friends with a woman who happens to be a neighbor. Then she watches some sort of act where it looks like she may have gotten murdered or something, and so when she tries to tell somebody, whoever did the deed is trying to mess with her head and make it seem like that wasn't the person. I believe Julianne Moore plays the original neighbor, and then when they're trying to mess with her head and like do all this crazy stuff, Jennifer Jason Leigh, I believe, plays the other one that claims to be this neighbor. But it's got a lot of good actors in it too. Like one that's not even in the trailer, but like they put his name everywhere. Anthony Mackie is in it.
How do you get away with not putting him in the trailer?
That's what I said. I'm like, you put him on there, and it's like, hey, Anthony Mackie's in this movie, but he's not in the trailer. Brian Tyree from Atlanta and stuff, who's been in a lot of things, works closely with Donald Glover. Kurt Russell's son Wyatt is in it. He plays one of the, what I'm assuming is one of the villains of the storyline. But there's a lot of cool stuff in this. It looks really creepy, very intense. Looks like it's going to be a very big thriller, and I think it'll do pretty well. I mean, it's coming off 2 weeks after Black Widow, so there should be a little bit of a dip on the Black Widow scene, and like that's why they're releasing 3 movies here, because I don't think that there's really, through the rest of the summer, there's only a couple of weeks where there's counter programming, and this is one of them. So you got Woman in the Window, and then you got the next one, which is a horror movie in Spiral.
Yep. Spiral is one of the spin-offs, or the...
I believe it's in the Saw universe of sorts.
Right.
Might be a spin-off, might be some sort of prequel, sequel. I don't know. This one stars Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson. It looks really cool and really intense. 2 people that I wouldn't have never really thought to be in this type of movie at all. Especially Chris Rock, and I believe Chris Rock produced it and everything. But the trailer looks pretty good. I was definitely into it, feeling the vibe for this. I'm a big horror movie guy anyway, so I would watch it regardless, but I was definitely wanting to see. There is this shot in the trailer that makes me laugh every time, though. Like, there's this scene where Chris Rock is first pulling up to the scene of the crime, and he's got like this, like he's pissed off or something look, and it just looks so funny because it looks so forced. It didn't even look natural in any way whatsoever, so it makes me laugh every time. And I was like, that's not what Chris Rock would do. He'd probably F-bomb something, or I don't know. But the movie looks good. I don't really know if Samuel L. Jackson also plays another cop, but I did like how the trailer ended, where he's chained up to a wall with the little hacksaw.
Like the first one.
Right, and what plays into that? Why is that? How is this one going in? Why is it called Spiral? I guess these are all things that we're going to find out.
Yep. And the third one's totally different. Third movie that's coming out that same day, another Scooby-Doo movie. So I think it's kind of neat how you got 2 intense movies coming out, and then Scooby. So,
which looks pretty good too. Like I gotta admit, like I mean, I was a fan of the other ones that came up with 2 live-action ones.
yeah.
And that they've had several spin-offs and whatnot along the way, like TV, made-for-TV ones or direct-to-video ones. But the 2 movies, I remember seeing them. I enjoyed them back in the day. And
My sons love them.
James Gunn, I believe, wrote the scripts for the first and second, possibly, if I recall. You guys are going to call me out if I'm wrong anyway, but I'm pretty sure they were. But this one looks pretty good. At first, like there's been 2 trailers, and I remember the first one looked like it was going to be like an origin story, like when they were all like young. Mm-hmm. That's what I got out of the trailer anyway. But then the second one seems like it's the adventures when they're adults still anyway, and there is some origin stuff in there. But it's got like Dynamite and...
yeah. I think some of the cartoon episodes that my son's been watching, they actually had all of those old Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and everybody was in there, and it was like really kind of funny because they made little cameo appearances in the same episode.
Which is cool. Like, and if this takes off, I hope that they continue to do stuff like that, because those are the things that I really liked about the Scooby-Doo cartoons. Like whenever they had like the Scooby-Doo Adventures, specifically when they used to like team up with like the Harlem Globetrotters
mm-hmm.
and or the Three Stooges, all kinds of like crazy stuff like that.
Yeah, Captain Caveman.
I mean, I would love to see Captain Caveman in a movie. Wouldn't you? I mean,
I'm sure everybody else will.
But the crazy thing is about this Scooby or this Scoob. Sorry, is that the voice of Scooby-Doo is Nick Nolte.
Well, I mean, that makes what the third.
I mean, he sounds like. I mean, I get it. He sounds like a drunken dog. I get it, but like I thought it was funny when we find out that this is the case, or in looking into it that this is the case.
And the next one we have coming up, May 22nd, Fast 9.
Whatever it is.
F9.
The Fast Saga, whatever they're calling it. I love these movies. I don't care what anybody says. I go to see them all opening weekend. I'm all about family. I'm all about Corona. I'm all about, like, whatever you want to show me at this point, Vin Diesel. I don't care. John Cena's your brother this time? Fine. Han's back when he was dead? Fine. The Rock is out this time. You bring another wrestler in? Fine. I don't care. You're towing a line to another car or a helicopter and you're spinning around. I don't care anymore. You're going to go into space? Who cares?
Exactly.
You're going to ride sharks that are made of car parts? Whatever. I don't care anymore. I just love these movies. They're adrenaline rushes. These are the epitome of popcorn movie. You're just going to go in there, you're going to get your large drink, your large popcorn, your milk duds, and you're just going to watch this movie and you're going to be like, cars don't do that. They can't fly. But you don't care.
You don't care. It's all about entertainment value, and I spend my money every time when they come out. These aren't things that I wait for. I actually go, like you say, opening weekend if I can, and this is going to be another one of those entertaining movies. Will it win awards?
No, definitely not.
But
are they going to say family 55 times in the film and probably toast Coronas 2 or 3 times? Yes. Is Tyrese somebody's spirit animal out there and always looking like he's confused and mad? Yes.
We're going to get some lead behind.
I mean, I've met the man. He's just like that in real life, just so you know. But, I mean, I'm intrigued. How are they going to, like, I saw that Mia is back in this one, so how do they play Paul Walker not being there this time? I know they tried it last time, but, I mean, now you're bringing back a character that's directly involved with Paul Walker's character in, you know, Brian, right?
Yeah.
So how do you do this? What are you going to do?
We also have another character coming back.
Yeah, Han is back. That's all I care about. The fact that I watched the entire trailer and I was like, that looks whatever, I don't even care. But like Han was back and I was like, I'm just gonna go watch it for this.
And he's eating chips again.
And he's eating chips, which is the most important thing.
Yes.
And then they tried to hold that back until the very end, and then they released all these character posters standing behind. You know, he's not the only one back though. A lot of the fast Tokyo Drift characters are in there. I don't even know his name. I think he's played by Lucas Black. The main character from Tokyo Drift is in it. He's in the trailer. Watch it. It's brief, but he's in there. And then the guys that were in it, Justin Lin, who directed the movie, worked with them on other movies. I think it's called Better Luck Tomorrow. So a lot of them are in that. So.
It's gonna be great. Something I can't wait to see.
Which is a great movie. If you haven't seen Better Luck Tomorrow, Justin Lin, great movie. Check it out. John Cho, Han, whoever Han is in real life. I don't know his name. I'm sorry. Should know that. We don't have notes. But he's in it too.
Alright, so moving on. The next one, it's growing on me. I've seen it a couple times, the trailer a couple times. May 29th, Artemis Fowl.
Disney's Artemis Fowl. Because Disney's going to rule the world eventually. So
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I don't know how I feel about this one. You said it's growing on you. Me personally, I watched the 2 different trailers, the teaser and this one. I don't know. I don't get a vibe. This doesn't give me the Disney vibe, which it shouldn't, because every movie's got to be its own thing.
Own, you know.
But I feel like this is too many other movies put into one, and it's based on a book series, and I totally get that.
I've read one of the books, so I think that's what has got me hooked in, having read the first book and seeing the trailer. I think that right there has got me a little roped in and got me a little hooked.
Right. I mean, listen, it could be amazing, and it's meant for kids, not meant necessarily for me. Though there's a lot of cooler things in it. I'm a kid at heart. Yeah. I'm a big kid. Exactly. But something about it just doesn't. It reminds me of Agent Cody Banks. Yeah, that movie with Frankie Muniz, the 2 movies he made in the theater. It reminds me, like Tim pointed out, that it reminds of, like, there's a lot of thematical things, like for Men in Black, which I totally see, with the funky guns and stuff like that. He said it reminded him of Harry Potter, because the bad guy looks like Hagrid. So there's a lot of, themes from other movies.
Actually, he's a good guy. He's not a bad guy.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I mean, but it's got good talent behind it. Josh Gad is in it. Colin Farrell's in it. I'm not sure if the kid that plays Artemis is in anything.
I haven't seen his name.
He might be in some Disney cartoon stuff or TV show stuff, but I'm not sure. But I mean, it looks okay. Thematically, it looks cool. There's some cool special effects work, but it didn't didn't grab me like other movies that are coming out in the summer, you know, are. So
Well, any movie that's based on books, I think that it banks on people already having the following, already having the book following. Some of them that are put out, they can rely on their own theatrical strength to pull you through. I think this one is going to rely on the fans of the books to get it to hit the numbers of the box
I mean, it
office.
really kind of has to. The Disney name is really what's going to draw you in as well. Because the star power, while there's some good actors in it, I don't think that's what's going to be the draw. Because Colin Farrell, I don't think even has a really big role in the
Mm-hmm.
movie. I believe Artemis, the whole point of this is he's searching for this organization to try and find his father. Giving you a little bit of plot stuff there.
Just a little.
I did know about that stuff. But what haven't we seen? This is something that I've seen in other movies before, so we'll see. It might be good. I mean, it's a summer movie, and it's kind of like it's more based for kids, and kids are out of school, so they're gonna go see the movie, and this is essentially what Disney's looking for. So.
Exactly. Next up on our list, June 5th, Wonder Woman. Now, the last Wonder Woman movie, personally, I liked actually seeing a heroine up there on stage, a superhero heroine up there on stage, and it was kind of cool. Is this one going to have the same strength? Is this one going to have the same draw, or is it going to be doing better?
It's gonna draw people, yes, because I think it's feeding off of the first one. I personally did not like the first one. I'm sorry, I didn't. Reminded me of. I mean, I get it. I get why everybody liked it. I didn't feel it. And I'm a big comic book guy, and everybody's gonna say I'm more Marvel than DC. I'm equally as both. But if the movie's not good, then the movie's not good. It was okay.
Yeah.
I think it was overhyped. I'm sorry. Hate me. At me. I don't care. It was okay. It reminded me of Thor and Captain America: First Soldier, whatever the first one was.
Yeah.
You know, the first Avenger or whatever. That's what that movie, the first one, did. I'm not talking about that one, talking about the new one. Based on the trailers that I've seen, I don't know. Like, I'm not feeling it. I get the 1984 vibe. I feel it less through the trailer of wanting to see it than I did the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm done with this slow motion stuff. Like, I feel like the trailer is just inundated with all this slow motion shots of like her, like, oh look, I can bounce a bullet off of my band, or
Yeah.
like look at my lasso. Everything is slow motion. I'm like, I saw that in Twilight when I had to watch the Twilight movies. I don't want to watch it in a Wonder Woman movie.
Okay.
Had to.
Definitely.
Had to. Yeah, yeah. I love those movies. No, I'm just kidding. But no, like, but yeah, like I don't feel like this one's really a big draw for me. Lots of things in the trailer remind me of the first one. Even that fight scene, or when she's trying to lasso, like, everything that I'm talking about is in the trailer. Okay, so that when she lassos the lightning and she's riding it, cool,
Yeah.
but still reminds me of the not so great fight scene in the first one. When she fights is it Ares?
Ares.
Yeah, was just a whatever scene to me. Like, I didn't care.
All right. Well, I mean, there's bound to be one or two of them that we're not going to be.
It's gonna do well, guys. It's a DC movie, and for what it is, people are gonna hate on it just like they're gonna hate on Black Widow, whatever. They're both gonna be fine. I still think Black Widow, to me, is the most intriguing of the two that I would prefer to go see.
Definitely. Well, our next two movies come out the same day, June 12th, and I don't think they could be two more opposite, totally different spectrum movies coming out on the same day. First one is Candyman.
So I kind of want to touch on this a little bit because I do feel like this is the week after Wonder Woman. I think both of these releases that we're about to talk about are complete counter-programming to Wonder Woman, and they're on a smaller scale. I don't think either one of these two movies or studios were thinking that they were going to make a ton of money. They're just like somebody had to put something in there to not go against Wonder Woman, because Wonder Woman's going to make all the money those 2 weeks. But yes, Candyman.
I think that honestly, it has potential to be a great movie, as long as it's trying to stand on its own and not trying to redo everything. Because we were talking about this earlier. When the movie came out, when I watched it the first time, that was like iconic back then. I mean, that was.
It still is. It's definitely, like, me again, horror guy. Like, it is a definite modern classic horror movie. For me, the original Candyman was great. Tony Todd as Candyman, what it did, like, how it made me feel, like, when I was first watching it. I can still watch it now, and this is not overplaying or whatever. I've watched it probably like 3 or 4 years ago, again, and it still makes me feel the same way that it did when I was younger. Now, watching the trailer for the new one, I'm like, this actually looks really, really good. I like the concept. There is a change from the original to this one, and how the trailer makes it seem that the main character, which is the Yahya Abdul Mateen, is that what?
Yeah.
I'm looking at my notes. Looking at my notes, guys. Because I was like, I'm gonna mess up this man's name. But he was in Aquaman. That was an okay DC movie. I like that. But there was an octopus playing the drums. I didn't care for that. But he's the main character in this movie, and like I guess he's a photographer or something. And it makes it seem like he is thinking that he is Candyman when all this stuff is happening, based on the trailer. I don't know if this is how it's going to play out. But that looks cool. You also have the backing. Jordan Peele is the producer on this. The director is hot off of something too. So there's a lot of stuff going for this one in a positive way. I do think this is going to be pretty good. I do think it's going to make pretty good money.
Yeah, definitely. And the other movie coming out that week, Greyhound. I really like the trailer, and I think it's going to be one of those that history buffs are going to just jump on it. It's Tom Hanks. I mean,
World War II naval officer.
It's a great concept. I mean, and he's kind of like Midas. Everything he touches turns to gold. I mean, for the most part.
Yes and no. It's coming out at a weird time. Like I feel like this movie should be coming out in the fall, not in the summer. Just my opinion. These movies tend to do better in the fall, especially war type movies.
Yeah,
It's not really the summer type. Unless it's being directed by Christopher Nolan. Definitely not something I put out in the summer. The director doesn't really have a whole lot of clout behind him. He's not. Tom Hanks is not working with like his normal people like Spielberg or Zemeckis here. He's working with a guy who was a camera director for things like that one about the chasing the tornadoes and stuff. He hasn't really done a lot of stuff. Like I don't even know the name of the director, which is something that stands out to me too. In a sense, and I know that Tom Hanks actually wrote some of the dialogue or the scripting for this, so that's kind of cool. I'm interested in that. Some of the visuals look pretty cool as far as the trailer is concerned, but I don't think that this movie is going to do very well. Where it's coming out and what it's sandwiched in between. Because when we talk about the following week's movie, Wonder Woman's going to take a big chunk of this, and then next week's movie is going to take even more.
Yeah, I see it, but I have a feeling that this is going to be one of those that there's a possibility we'll be hearing it when it comes to award time.
Well, I kind of disagree a little bit. Again, because it's coming out in the summer, it's probably not. And they probably studios know what they're doing when they release these movies. If it's coming out in the summer, it's because they have no faith during award season. Because a lot of the award stuff does not come out because they want it to be fresh in people's minds when it comes to voting and stuff like that. So maybe not.
I'm crossing my fingers because I think it deserves it.
I know, and I love Tom Hanks. I think he's going to be great in the movie. I just don't. Something is going to fall short with this one. Mark my words. You heard it here first. At me. If you think I'm wrong, but I don't think so. I just don't think it's going to hit.
Alright, coming out the next week, June 19th, is Pixar movie Soul. And we believe that one's going to be one of those tearjerker movies.
It is. I can just tell from the trailer alone, Pixar really does a good job of tugging at my heartstrings a lot. Making me feel things that I didn't know that I had inside me, and a lot of them actually hit close to home. I remember when I saw Coco, while I'm not of Mexican descent, where that was mostly a lot of themes directly correlated with my Latin family, and it made me very sad. This one has to do with wanting to be remembered for something, and not leaving this earth without somebody known for being meant, that you were meant for something
exactly
bigger. Sorry, I'm just this movie trailer, when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is kind of like what I feel like sometimes, because coming from someone like me who's dealing with a lot of personal things that make me feel like I want people to remember me for something special, and right now I'm driving towards that in my personal life, which is a great thing.
He is special. And not just short bus look in the window special.
But but yeah, this movie kind of has a lot of through lines that I think are gonna hit me on a personal level. I know that I'm gonna see this movie a couple times. Pixar generally knocks things out of the park. So when we say that, Wonder Woman and this are gonna be the sandwich, the bread in between two non-major movies, these two are the ones that are gonna hit, and they're gonna hit hard.
I believe
Pixar
you're right.
never has a problem.
No. The next one, I'm kind of nostalgic and looking forward to seeing it. June 24th, Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, Tom Cruise still doing
I don't
stunts and things.
I don't see how he's gonna. I mean, he's definitely looking his age a little bit more, And how's he gonna pull that off?
I'm waiting for the scene where he's running, because he runs in everything.
Every single
If
one.
he can run underwater, he would run underwater, because those are. I'm Tom Cruise and I'm running from this scene to the next. I don't know. I want to see it. I think it's going to be pretty good. I don't think it's going to be bad, but I feel like it's been too long for this one.
Yeah, and I'm not actually looking forward to it for the same reasons that I would be looking forward to a lot of other ones on the list. I'm looking forward to the soundtrack.
Yeah, which was the main thing. Like everybody owned Top Gun and like every version of it that ever came out. Remember when?
I had the vinyl soundtrack.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like people had it in every format. Beta, VHS. Beta was a thing. VHS, Laserdisc. Everybody wanted it, and it was the only reason that anybody ever bought surround sound back in the day. Well, I gotta get surround sound because Top Gun's coming out, and I've got to play that. Come to my house and watch Top Gun. I got surround sound. I'm like, yes, it sounds great, amazing.
To be honest, I liked Iron Eagle better, but that's a different story.
I don't know.
I like the
That was
music
around the
one.
time when they made a lot of movies that had to do with jet fighter pilots and things like that. But Iron Eagle also had like a bunch of crappy sequels. So like Iron Eagle was good. Like the original one was good.
Yeah.
I don't know about 2 and 3 though, and I don't even know they could have made like 6 back then. They used to make lots of sequels to lots of things.
So we still have the chance on rental. Let's go to another movie.
But hey, I'm looking forward to this one too. I do think that this is something that you got to watch in Dolby, which I don't watch anything any other way. People say IMAX, I go Dolby. Love the way that the chairs move when you're sitting in a Dolby theater. And stuff like that. So this is definitely a Dolby theater movie.
And by the way, we're not getting any kickbacks from Dolby. I mean, feel free to let us know if there's a way we can, but
Dolby,
Anyway.
I have an AMC A-list, so you can.
Next one coming up, we got 2 movies on July 3rd. Free Guy.
This movie looks amazing. It's like I don't know, like something about the trailer. Like people have watched this trailer, people that I know, and like. Looks dumb. No, this movie looks awesome. So Ryan Reynolds is playing a guy that lives pretty much in a video game. He wakes up every day, goes through the same stuff, and like he finally realizes that he is in a video game and Taika Waititi is in this movie and looks amazing. Taika Waititi.
Yeah, see, you could say that name, but Yahya.
Yahya Abdul Mateen. No. This movie looks great. It looks funny. I know it's one of those Fox holdover movies that's still under the Fox banner, but Disney now owns the rights to technically. So
They own everything.
and they're gonna.
Yeah, eventually.
But it looks like it's a lot of fun. I don't even think we've hit the tip of the iceberg as to what we're gonna see in this movie. I think it might actually. It looks like it could possibly be rated R. I know that there's 2 versions of the trailer. One that's shows like a giant hole in the guy in the bank when he gets shot, and one where he's not. And I think this movie's going to be great.
I honestly, I think it's going to be a good movie. It's going to be one that we're going to look forward to seeing. The next one, I know that my son Lucas, who you guys just totally missed him coming in and out, he's looking forward to seeing it. He saw the trailer, Minions. He wants to see this one, The Rise of Gru, and from being a Minion fan, I mean, we have Minions all over the house. I think that it's going to be a hilarious movie. It's funny, but you were saying that it's it might be a way to bring things back a little bit, dial it back.
So, yeah, because here's how I took it. Minions was fine. I don't remember if I saw that one in the theater, but The original Minions movie was fine, but I think the fact that there was such lack of dialogue and you're dealing with the Minions specific didn't quite hit as well for them as it should have. So at the end of the movie, they find Gru. So this one I feel like is actually more of a Gru movie that has Minions in it, but it's called Minions. Because I'm looking at the trailer and I see lots of dialogue from Gru, and I don't know if that's the only dialogue you get, but I doubt it. It looks like this is like exactly what it's telling you. It's the rise of Gru. So you're gonna see Gru's origin story to being the person that he is, and the Minions are just there for the ride. While the last Minions movie was very Minions heavy, and sometimes I'm tired of listening to just sounds and things, and it just
And to me, I
didn't
think
feel the same.
the Minion language, I guess you could say it's a language, is actually starting to actually sound like a language now. There's more words that I can pick up. It's from somebody who doesn't speak fluent Spanish. There was some Spanish words in this.
See?
But
Well, I mean, this one looks like it's gonna be fun though.
Yeah.
I liked what I saw in the trailer. I particularly cared for the little story that Otto, which appears to be a new minion, this one with braces, chubbier one with braces. I do not think he was in the previous versions.
no,
Telling the story about how he lost like this, I want to say like this piece of jewelry or something specific that had to do with the villain group in this one, and how he ended up trading it for a pet rock.
I think it's hilarious.
It's funny.
I
Funny
mean,
stuff. I thought it was funny.
all right. Next one is another one that's harkening back to my childhood. We have on July 10th, Ghostbusters.
Okay, so this one I think is not too late because we should be getting more Ghostbusters all the time. Lady Ghostbusters was fine, but this one is gonna be awesome. Okay, I feel like this one has the horror vibe. This one's hitting it right. The original director's son is the one that is bringing this one to us. Paul Rudd is in this. Paul Rudd is generally great. The man that never ages. He was in Clueless. He looks exactly the same. Like he has some sort of time machine thing.
No,
Or like,
don't it?
yeah, it's crazy. I don't age very well either because I'm old, guys. I'm old,
Yeah, well,
but I don't look old.
I like the fact that it's touching back on like the original one. There's that suspense, that little thriller part of it. It's not so heavy related to the comedy aspect because I think that in second.
I think this one's bringing new things thematically because I do think that there's going to be some comedy in it, but I really think this one's going to hit on some more serious stuff.
Yeah.
At least that's the vibe that I'm getting from the trailer. Like it does look like it's going to have the fun comedy bits, but I think this one brings a lot more seriousness than the other films, and I like that. And the way that it's touching on the previous films more than the Lady Ghostbusters one feels better. Like one of them was related to one of the kids because you have the Stranger Things kid and the girl. She's in a lot of things too. She was just in the Captain Marvel movie.
Right.
But one of them was related to one of the Ghostbusters that we grew up with back in I believe the original one came out in like 1984.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I loved it.
Looking forward to this. Seeing the Ecto one, driving around in the cornfield was really cool, and how they use it, and how it has that pop-out seat where they can shoot the proton packs and stuff like that. I'm really looking forward to this. I don't even know really what to expect as far as the ghosts and stuff. I'm sure we're gonna get. I don't really care. I don't. I just think this is gonna be good fun. Yeah, he'll most definitely. I just, I heard they brought back the majority of the cast. The weird thing is we couldn't get Rick Moranis back for this movie, but he's coming back for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids remake thing for Disney Plus. What?
Come on.
You couldn't get him back for Ghostbusters? But I guess I get it because Ghostbusters really wasn't his movie, and he really did, like the Honey, I Shrunk. We're talking about something that's not even going to come out in the summer. I'm sorry.
No.
This is how it works, guys.
This is his brain. It just goes from stuff.
So, but I'm just like, I think Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was like his baby, his thing, what he brought up. So, like, that's why it's easier for him to go back to that than to go back to Ghostbusters.
Definitely.
But still, you should have got him back for Ghostbusters. And maybe he is in Ghostbusters, and we just don't know.
Next one we've got coming up.
I like how he's just like, we're going to keep moving along. Like,
Yeah, because if we keep talking about Rick, we're going to get to a point where I'm going to be like, the reason why he went out and stopped doing films for a little while. I really applaud that, dealing with kids.
It's going to make me cry, just like Soul's
Exactly.
going to make me cry this summer. on June 19th.
Next one is confusing as hell to me. I was looking at the trailer, I'm like, I still don't get it. July 17th, Tenet.
Tenet, Christopher Nolan's next big summer blockbuster. I think it looks cool as hell. I think it deals with like bits of time travel or something like that, or reversing time. All of his movies are weird, including the Batman movies. So whatever. I don't care. It's got John David Washington, Denzel's son.
Yep.
And Robert Pattinson, your new Batman, coming soon to probably
Better
next year.
not glow, or glitter, or shine, or shimmer, or whatever.
But all I ever remember from a lot of the Christopher Nolan movies is amazing visuals, intricate plots, and the soundtrack is like, you talk about Top Gun soundtrack, but Christopher Nolan's movie soundtracks are also really, really, like, they're big, they're loud, they put you in the movie, they immerse you in it, and I got that from the trailer again, so I'm really looking forward to this movie. I think it's gonna be, while the trailers don't, and I think that's what he's meaning for it to do. The trailers are not trying to give anything away, probably trying to confuse you so that when you do go see the movie, you're like, cool, that's definitely something I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
I mean, remember when was the first, did you see no, Inception? That was a completely different, like,
Nobody
thing altogether.
expected that.
Nobody knew that.
Mm-mm.
But it was pretty cool, and then it left you with that. Did this happen or did it stop spinning? Did it not stop spinning? I feel like we're gonna get something similar to that in this. Like, a lot of themes are gonna be the same here. I'm really excited for this one,
I'm looking forward to it.
and I think it's gonna make a lot of money.
Yeah. I think it'll make more than what the next one we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
July 24th, Jungle Cruise. Disney's Jungle Cruise. They made a movie about a ride at a theme park.
Not the first time they've done it.
No.
Not gonna be the last time they do it either.
I mean, they got a lot to choose
We're
from.
going through this time frame where Disney's like, let's make a movie about all of our rides and live action, all of our cartoons. So the Jungle Cruise was next in line, apparently. The two things that it has going for it is The Rock, and The Rock is generally riding a pretty big wave. It's very similar to Jumanji in theme, the way it looks. So this might attract other people to go see it. It's also got Disney's name behind it. I do think that this is going to entice moviegoers a bit in regards to this. I mean, it's got some corny fun stuff in there. It's just not something. It doesn't look amazing. It doesn't. Emily Blunt is also in it. She's lovely. I'm now working on a Disney movie. I'm like, is she gonna be Sue Richards in the Fantastic Four movie? Maybe. With her husband, John Krasinski, Reed and Sue. Maybe.
Possibly.
I'm endorsing this because they've been talking about it for like ever, and I really want them to play something that we shouldn't be talking about because this is in the future. But
I don't know about you, but in my mind, I see a boardroom full of people trying to pitch movies, and there's this guy throwing a dart at the Disney World map, and it just lands on Jungle Cruise.
I do not want to see It's a Small World, the movie. Because if I have to hear that song any more than the 5 to 7 minutes that I have to listen to it while I'm on that ride, I just won't do it.
It's just going to be the subtle in the background, like, just all the way through the movie. Just like,
don't do it. That's how it's going to sound. You're going to get a trailer and it's going to... No!
Just a black screen, that's
Don't!
it. But can you imagine that'd be like a horror movie? Just like...
Well, they made that weird horror movie that they secretly filmed at Disney. Again, not off topic.
Just another tangent.
Totally in black and white. Really, really weird movie. There's another movie that comes out this same week, July 24th. Again, I feel like these are two throwaway movies, knowing that the Tenet is going to actually bring in the box office the week before. But the other movie is Wes Anderson's new movie, The French Dispatch. I love Wes Anderson films. This actually looks funnier to me than the Jungle Cruise. Jungle Cruise is going to get more love because it's a Disney, it's bigger, more spectacle, and the smaller French Dispatch, which is probably way better, is the one that's not going to get the love. But I do think this looks amazing.
And I like that it's all over the place. I mean, you look at the trailer and it's like somebody filmed the trailer, chopped it all up, threw it in the air, and that's what they put on.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're gonna get if you're a fan of Wes Anderson, all of your favorites are in this movie. Thematically, looks just like a Wes. He doesn't really. There's nothing different here, and it's just this stuff works wherever he makes a movie, and I think this looks great. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think the humor is my type of humor, more inside, sarcastic, dry, not the poop and fart jokes and the F bombs and stuff like that generally they try to drive for the comedy nowadays.
And it's Bill Murray.
Bill Murray's in it. All of your favorites from Wes Anderson movies, Jason Schwartzman, Owen Wilson, like Tilda Swinton, they're all in there. I think that this is something that you should probably take a look at. You may not want to see it. It may not be for you, but I promise you, his movies tend to like hit you in a different way too. And you should definitely check it out. Wes Anderson is a genius when it comes to like how he puts a movie out there, and his movies are really well done.
Next one we have July 31st, getting towards the end of summertime. We have Morbius. I'm a fan of the comic books because they're kind of dark, and I don't know if the movie's going to hit on the same level.
I don't know. Like, I'm a big comic book guy. Everybody knows this, and I'm going to watch it because it's a comic book movie. When it was the movie that was announced in this Spider-Verse type of thing that they were talking about, I was like, Morbius. But it doesn't look bad. You got some. It looks okay. I'm trying to figure out how all this stuff works as far as, is it in conjunction with Marvel, the MCU stuff? Is it not? I've heard that it is. I've heard that it leads into what the two studios are going to be doing in the future with this stuff. How it leads into like Venom sequel, and if Tom Holland is anywhere to be seen in here. Why is Michael Keaton in this movie? Who is Michael Keaton playing in this movie? If Michael Keaton was already in Spider-Man movie, so I don't even know if he's playing a different character. He's probably playing a different character, but why? I mean, don't you care about continuity in any way, Sony? You don't.
I don't think they do.
You don't. You're kind of like Fox, where you're just gonna release an X-Men movie every year, and it's gonna be 15 different people playing Jubilee and Kitty Pryde, because you don't care. You don't care. Why do you need that many people playing?
We have absolutely no script, by the way. So I mean, that's great that we can just jump into anything. The next couple, we don't have trailers. We're just
we're gonna briefly touch on them. I can tell you who's in the movie. I don't really even know what two of them are about. So, well, I mean, I can probably gather what they're about. The first one is Infinite. I don't know anything about this.
Have no clue.
But Mark Wahlberg is in it, so I can tell you that. And it comes out August 7th. So it's some sort of summer movie. I think it's a sci-fi movie. Didn't write anything down for notes. We probably should have.
No.
Now I feel stupid. So sorry.
Moving on to August 21st.
Then we're going to skip 2 weeks, and then we're going to go, because I'm sure something comes out the 14th. We don't know what it is, because we didn't write it down. But August 21st, we have...
Bill and Ted Face the Music.
And Bill and Ted are old, and they have daughters. And I'm sure there's some time travel shenanigans that go. I mean, this one writes itself, guys. You get to see Keanu Reeves in a movie. We love Keanu Reeves. He's not kicking people's ass. And like,
we don't know that.
He could be kicking people's ass.
He could, borrow some of his other roles.
John Wickedness.
John Wickedness, yes. That might be.
I mean, the following year when we do this episode again, we can talk about both John Wick Chapter 4 and The Matrix that come out right now on the same day. Weird.
Yes, definitely weird. Kind of trippy.
So I don't know if you remember, like last year, sidebar, went to Comic-Con, and I had taken a picture of like a bunch of people dressed up as different characters that Keanu Reeves played in movies. From Speed to Matrix to everything, like all in one picture. I'm like, this is actually happening next year. There's gonna be 2 movies with Keanu Reeves in them at the same time.
At the same time.
That's crazy.
Definitely. And the next one, the title just kind of makes me laugh. August 28th, The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
The sequel.
Yeah.
Everybody's back.
Yeah.
That's all I can say about it, because it's essentially all it's going to be. First one was fine. Did you see the first one?
No.
It's okay.
Eh.
This one's probably going to be okay.
Eh.
Comes out in the summer. The end of the summer, which is where they kind of dump some of the last ones. Like, this one might be okay.
So, at the end of this video, I'm going to have a list of all the movies that we talked about. Well, all the movies we were supposed to talk about, not the ones we actually did talk about, because that list would never end, because we talk about all kinds of movies.
And there are more movies that do come out in this time frame, but I tried to focus on those that people are going to go see.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So if they're not on the list, don't bother going to see them. I trust Mike's judgment. I've made a couple mistakes and went and saw movies he told me not to. I'll never get that money back. Or the time. But I stopped doing that. It's been 3 years now. I've never gone to see a movie he told me not to see.
And,
I recommend you guys listen to him.
and when I talk about obscure things, guys, because we'll probably have an episode of obscure movies at some point in time that you probably would have never thought to see, take my advice and go watch those movies, because I'm sure you're going to have a blast with them.
Definitely. But for me, this is a list of movies that I'm hoping to see all of them before they show up on live streaming everywhere. But
Stick with me, and you might get to see some of them before they even come out.
exactly. But thank you for joining us. Appreciate you spending your time watching us. And as always, I don't have the answers. This guy does. And we're going to talk about it anyway. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, guys.